It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hot Takes podcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in right now. I got a special guest here today, a good friend of mine, known him for a while, named Caleb. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so like Dan said, I'm Caleb. Last name's Anger, like when you're mad. I love basketball, so I was pretty excited that Dan asked me to do this. And I know it's just the first episode, might not have that many viewers, but when he has 1 million viewers, he can look back and see where he came from. I met Dan a while ago, actually on Xbox, and kind of from there, we talk every day, and I played basketball in high school. I also played basketball Division II in college, and since then I still love basketball. I watch the NBA every night. I keep up with stats. So I don't know. We'll see what Dan will throw at me. See if I can come up with some good takes.
No, and that's exactly the reason why I brought him on, because I am interested to see what he thinks. I know he's a huge basketball fan. He's going to really like some of the topics. We are going to talk about the Celtics trade. I know he's been bugging about that since he saw it happen. I don't know how he feels about it.
Big Celtics fan.
Right, big Celtics fan. So I know he's bugging about it. But first, I want to talk about Russell Westbrook. So Lakers didn't trade him, right? So I want to pull something up. You can see on my screen here, I got some stats here. These are Russell Westbrook's stats. So I want to make out a point. Look at his season stats. This season, he's averaging 18, 8, and 7.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, everybody's looking at this right here, right? Everybody's looking at – got to pull this over just a little bit. Everybody's looking at that right there, right? Those turnovers. So,
yeah,
he's averaging 4. He's been averaging 4 his whole career. Basically until 2015, he's been averaging 3 his whole career. So, why now does that all of a sudden matter?
I think – okay, this is what I think about Russell Westbrook. Yes, I think this is his worst year in a while, and yes, his stats are a little bit down. But one, if you go back up to the stats, he's averaging 18, 7, and 7. That's still – let's think about it. I'm a Celtics fan. If my third best player was averaging 18, 7, and 7, we would have a much better record than we do now.
Right,
and
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
18,
he's averaging 4 turnovers. Yeah, 8 and 7. And another thing I want to say about Westbrook is, what was I going to say? People say he's shooting bad. I'm looking at his stats over here. He's shooting about the same as his career for 3, around 30%. He's never been a good 3-point shooter. And I think that the reason he's getting so much hate is because he's on the Lakers now, and it's on LeBron's team. And if you're on the Lakers, it's automatically the spotlight is on you no matter what you do. So for example, even if LeBron wasn't even on the Lakers, it would be it's just one of those teams. It's like Lakers, Cowboys, Yankees in their respective sports. It's just if you're on one of those teams, you're held to a higher standard, and it sucks. Right. But that's just the nature of the beast. And throwing in LeBron on top of that, anything even LeBron does wrong is going to be put on Russell Westbrook just because it's LeBron. So I'm not even a huge Russell Westbrook fan, but I don't really like seeing some of the hate that he's getting just because his stats aren't that bad. And yes, he's down, but he's also, how old is he?
Right.
33 years old. He's getting up there in age. He's going to have to get worse eventually. Not everyone can be like LeBron and be amazing till they're 50. So I don't know. That's how I feel right now about Westbrook. And yes, he's screwed up a couple games, but he's also playing with 2 other stars, and it takes a while to get used to it.
Right. And so I dug a little deeper into it because I got, a little interested with the trade line that came up. And I looked at it from January 23rd to 30th, the last week. If you look at his last stretch of games, I don't have these stats pulled up, but if you look at his last stretch of games and you average all the points together, I did the math. He averaged 22, 6, and 6 last week in the last 7 games he played. Now, if you're with 4 turnovers, yes. So 22, 6, 6, 4 turnovers. Yes, the 4 turnovers. Yeah, you could, I guess, argue, hey, he had 4 turnovers. That's awful. There are still other people on the team getting that same turnovers. The team itself probably has what, like 12 turnovers? Yes, for his, but you get what I'm saying? So 22, 6, and 6 in 7 games. And you're still going to sit here and say he's not a good fit for the Lakers. He's bad. He's not living up to his potential. 22, 6, and 6 and going like what, 70-something% from the free throw line? He's doing his job. He's never been a shooter his whole career. When he was on OKC, nobody complained. He drove to the basket, went to the free throw line. Everybody loved him. He's doing exactly that now. And everybody just doesn't like it.
I feel like a lot of the Russell Westbrook hate and like people all of a sudden like coming out hating him is because of social media. Like I've seen so many videos of him, like, you know, the little mid-range pull-up he does where he like,
right,
he used to bank it in and now hitting the top of the backboard or airballing
it. They're all making fun of him now on the Lakers and stuff.
I looked up a couple of those videos, like those nights, and like one of the times I saw he hit the top of the backboard, he only missed like 4 shots. So I'm like,
right. So you're taking that one shot out of perspective from a whole game.
And I get it. Like he shouldn't be airballing or doing that. Like, but he is getting old, and like dude, people mess up. Like he's a human. So I don't know. I don't really like all the hate coming from him. I'm not even a big Westbrook fan. But yes, he could be playing way better, but I don't think he's playing as bad as people actually think so.
Right. That's my opinion. I like the fact that they kept him. I still think that team, once they finally figure everything out, basically, I think it's still going to be a great team. Regardless, it's going to be scary.
He always gets better as the year goes on, too.
Always. Playoff Russ will always be disgusting, and you know that's where they're going to take him.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going on. I like that. I like that discussion. Let us know down in the comments below. Let us know. Do you guys think they should have traded him? Should they have kept him? You guys can see the stats right here. We're both in agreement. I think he should have stayed, and that's what he did. Moving on, take 2. This is where I think you're going to get some fun out of it. Now we're talking trades. I know. I said we're going to talk about the Celtics a little bit, but I want to save that because I know that's going to be the most exciting. So I think the biggest one we all know, the biggest one right now, Sixers and Nets. Big trade, right? James Harden, Ben Simmons. And I'll ask you, who do you think won that trade?
I think, okay, here you might begin your first take ever from your guest ever right here, Dan. I think that the Nets won the trade, and I think that they won it, and it wasn't even close. Not even close. Okay. You know me, Dan. We talk about NBA all the time. I don't like Ben Simmons, but you never know how good he can be. Like, he's still going to be an all-star player when he starts playing. And I think I was telling you this the other day. I think Seth Curry is like one of the most underrated players in the league, and he's going to compliment Irving when he plays, and Kevin Durant. And he already has played well with Simmons in the past. No matter what team Seth is on, he complements them so well.
Very well. Great.
Because he can come off screens with Embiid and pick and pop, or he can create his own shot off the bench too. So I don't know. I love what the Nets did. And Harden, I feel like it's going to take – here's how I feel about Harden. So he commits to where he's playing for like 3 months, and then you see how he really feels about that team.
Right.
Like the Nets, like everyone loved the Nets. He loved the Nets. Like when they first joined, they all came together. Those big 3 went 13-3. But like after stuff started happening, Kyrie didn't play, KD got injured and all that stuff.
Right,
Harden just wants out. So yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers have a way better record than the Nets the first like 10 games that they all play. But like once everybody gets comfortable and like God forbid, but let's say like Embiid gets injured or something, it's gonna like who knows how Harden's gonna react. So I think the Nets will be better long term.
No, and it's interesting to hear you say that because I think the whole podcast might get a little bit of hate here because these might be the only 2 takes we get. I also agree. I think the Nets won the trade. I don't think there's a moment where, yes, obviously there's issues with Ben Simmons. with him not clearly afraid to shoot the ball. I don't like if that's the take everybody's
Yeah.
getting. I don't understand it. I haven't dug enough into that. I don't understand a little bit about that. But if you look at Ben Simmons outside of that, right? Look at a little bit younger Ben Simmons when he first got into the league. Prime example, popping off, looking like just a big Russell Westbrook, right? Driving to the basket, dunking, getting to the free throw line, and that was it.
Yeah, and he's always been
right, been consistent.
uh,
He's always been done it. He's always gotten to the line. He's always made it. Yeah, he can't shoot, but again, it's another comparison to Russell Westbrook, but the same scenario. You have somebody who is driving to the basket, basically just being a dominant big man, but everybody has an issue with it. Where
I think that even when he's not shooting the ball, he's still like last year. Last year, everyone hated him. He was number 2 in voting for Defensive Player of the Year. And I think that's going to help the Nets out a lot too, because Kyrie is a good defender and Seth Curry is a decent defender. But like, other than obviously like those two in their, like out of their guards, like that's really all they got for defense. And Simmons is going to be big in a playoff series, I think,
right.
if you can put him on the other team's best guard. And then you have KD. Like, how much does Simmons even need to shoot when you have KD? So
right, no, of course, and Kyrie on top of that. So I think
right.
That's why I think it'll be a great fit.
Yeah.
The other reason I think the Sixers lost the trade is I see James Harden is in like almost like a Jimmy Butler scenario where like, yeah, he fits for now, but like you're building around Embiid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know how Harden feels about that.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. Next one, we're gonna jump right into it. Next take, really amazing take here. The CJ McCollum trade. Huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this frees up cap space, right? I'm assuming now with trading CJ McCollum, now proving that they're just gonna build around Dame Lillard. They don't care about that duo. You know what I mean? I think that's the goal here. Obviously that's got to be the goal here. Build around Damian Lillard because that frees up a lot of cap space in every single trade that they've done. And so, I mean, what do you think? CJ McCollum to the Pelicans. How do you think that's going to fit?
I don't know. I mean, the Pelicans are in a lot of trouble. I don't really want to. We don't have to talk about Zion because we'll be talking for 4 hours. Like, I actually really like him, and I don't like all the hate he gets either. Like, I hope he can come back and play, and he'll obviously help them like an insane amount. I don't know. I think CJ will be all right over there. They just got a lot of stuff to figure out. But like on the Blazers side, I got another probably hotter take for you. I'm gonna say right now, I think Dame's gone next year. I think
Dame's gone next year. That's what he's called.
Yeah. And I'll give you my reasoning why. So they have, I don't know, I'm sure, yeah, you know who he is, but I've been looking into Anthony Simons a lot, and they drafted him, what was it, 2019. He was super young when they drafted him. He was like a year out of high school. I think he went to IMG. And he's just been like coming into his own lately, and him and Dame are really similar in the way they play. And all the other moves they're making are towards like younger assets that like can build around Simons. And Dame doesn't even like seem like he wants to be there in general. So I could see either Dame signing. Oh, wait, let me look up.
You said Anthony Simons.
Anthony Simons, yeah. Okay, I could see Dame asking for a trade and then getting a decent big man or like a couple other assets just to start off young again, like a couple of teams are doing now. Like the Pacers, I really like the Pacers moves too.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at this dude's stats. No, you're not wrong. Last couple of games, 23, 27, 21, 29. Let me see if I can get these guys. I like what he's talking here, guys. I want to see if I can pull this up. See what I can get up going up here.
I just don't like. While you do that, I'll talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't really like how. I love Dame, but like I don't think I think the Blazers just need to like admit that they're not going to win a chip or anything with Dame unless they get like another star, which I don't think they'll do. So I think they should just go into rebuilding and maybe get some draft picks and a good like young big for Simons around the team, because like if it's just Dame and a bunch of like bench players and Simons, like what are you doing? Like, okay, you'll get the 8th seed, but like what does that even mean, you know?
Right. And then that also goes to show a lot too, where maybe not necessarily CJ McCollum, but yes, CJ McCollum, how much was he really holding the Blazers back from being able to progress or take that next step? Because think about it, his contract was huge. Like his and Dame's combined was a massive contract.
Right.
So how, maybe that was more beneficial. Maybe that's the way they saw it. Hey, free this money up, show Dame that we're going to sign a big man, sign a power forward, maybe even sign a small forward to give him the help. And then, maybe that's going to try and entice him to keep him. It's going to be interesting to see. I also don't disagree that he doesn't like being there, or at least he has some sort of disgust with how the team's been handling the situation.
Yeah.
So I do agree with that. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely, I don't know if it'll be this off season or maybe before the off season if he announces something. I don't know. But no, looking at these right now, no, you're not wrong. Look at this. So 35 minutes of play on average. And we're looking at 23, 27, 21, 8 against. So, but look at the teams he's scoring against too. These are huge games.
Dude, and he's 22 years old too.
Right. So 22 years old, 6'4", 6'9" wingspan. So dude's tall and long for a point guard. And look at, like I'm saying, look at these stats, bro. 3-pointers, he's a little all over the place, but like we said, he's 22. Field goal percentage, like about,
it's pretty good.
40%, which isn't bad. Again, he's also coming off the bench, right? Because of CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard. So doing these stats, either coming off the bench or starting for most games, obviously, right here, because 30 minutes, but not a regular starter, 29 minutes. That's his stats right there. If Damian Lillard does leave, I don't see that they don't have a solid replacement. All right, so talked about Portland. We were going to talk about the Kings, but I think we are going to go and talk about the Celtics. I know we've been waiting for that one, waiting for your takes. So the Celtics. Let's go look at these real quick. Let me pull these up. I don't have them on screen, unfortunately. Got them off to the side, but let's take a look here.
You want me to talk while you
Yeah. So you obviously know what's going on.
Yeah.
The Celtics trade. Here we go. So your first acquirement, Dennis Schroeder, Enes Freedom, Bruno Fernando for Daniel Theus. All of that for Daniel Theus. What's going on?
I think that they did it Schroeder's contract wasn't huge, but it's obviously
$5.8 million, and he wasn't even on. I think that was maybe 1 year.
Yeah, well, he's been there for he signed a 1.
So
I like Tice. I think that he's gonna be good off the bench. He was just on the Celtics 2 years ago. I liked him
I
when
was
he was
just thinking that he was just recently a Celtic. So you got rid of him, and now you see something in him that's going to make the team better. Because if you look up all the money, you got rid of more. You know what I mean? You basically got rid of 3 players that were worth the same amount as Daniel Theus. So was Dennis Schroeder, Enes Freedom, and Bruno Fernando really worth Daniel Theus, in your opinion? Or do you think you could have gotten something maybe better for like those 3 options?
I think it was worth it because of the fact that we got Derek White from the Spurs in the other trade.
Right.
I really like how, I guess he's technically a combo guard, but he'll push a lot of point for us. And he's like the type of guard that we needed because, he scores, but he moves the ball well and he plays defense. So if he can get his assists up and just start diming to Jalen and Jason, I think he'll fit very well. I love Marcus Smart so much, but he's not a point guard in my eyes. Like, I don't
No,
really go by size when I look at like positions and stuff. And
no,
like,
not
I think
especially not in today's league. You can't anymore.
right.
No,
Derek White's
I
just
agree. I don't.
Derek White's just solid, and like that's just something that we need right now.
No, for sure,
So
and
I,
I also
like
agree with that. Smart's not
I
necessarily
liked
a
what we
point guard.
did.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah, you guys
I mean,
definitely did good. I mean, it's just I feel like for everything you guys gave up as the Celtics, I feel like you definitely either I don't know what you guys could have gotten at this point in time, but like at the same time, maybe more because you guys said like you mentioned the Derek White trade, Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, and a next year first round pick 1 through 4 protected. So if they get if
yeah,
they get the 5th pick in the first round, you guys lose that pick.
yeah. I
And then on
that
top
was
of
that
that,
was the
and his
one thing that got
freedom,
me.
Dennis Schroeder and Bruno Fernando to walk away with Daniel Theus and Derek White.
Yeah, I the pick kind of got me because I know Richardson. I don't know. It's tough with the pick. Like picks are tough because you don't know what they're going to turn into, you know?
Right.
So
No, of
I
course.
don't know. I think we have a big move coming in the summer though. Whether it's like Marcus Smart out or Jalen and Jason are both going to stay, but I think we're going to either try to sign somebody big or trade for somebody because just I don't know. The 2 trades I liked them and I really like Derek White, but it just feels like we deserve something else. And I think maybe we're prepping for the off season. But that's just my idea. I think Derek White is gonna help us, but he's obviously not gonna be like move us from like the middle of the pack where we are to like a title contender. Like
Right.
he might win us one more game in the playoffs, but I think we have a big move coming in the offseason. We just Brad Stevens is our like GM now, so I think he'll try to make some big moves this offseason. I don't really have like too much to say about the Celtics just because like they weren't huge trades, but they're the kind of trades where you just have to see like how they play out over the next couple weeks.
Right. No, like I said, no, like we said, no huge trades, but also just interesting to see you guys give up like that much for almost like so kind of little.
Yeah.
And like I am interested to see where you guys go. Hopefully you're right. I'm expecting maybe big things, maybe sign like that, not star, but that middle of the pack shooting guard or point guard that you guys need to really just bring your guys up there. I'm excited for the Celtics. I can't wait to see what they do. Jumping right into it, we're gonna jump right out of the trades and we're gonna take into number 3, and we're gonna start talking about the Warriors. I've been excited. I've been seeing them around. Everybody's so eight. What is it? I'm a little late now when I wrote this, but it was an 8-game winning streak. And then have they lost since? Are they still on that winning streak?
Yeah. I think actually the night that you prepared this when you texted me, they lost.
That Friday they lost that, but still.
Yeah.
So Clay comes back. Regardless, Clay comes back. 8-game winning streak.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So I mean, what does that say? Do you think we can expect to see the dangerous Warriors again? Can we perceive them as a threat, or do we think they're still going to sit there in the middle? Do we not think? Are we still expecting like Lakers, Nets? You know what I mean? Or do we think they're going to come back to be number 1?
I love this. Like, I love this Warriors team, and I hate to say it because the past like 8 years, I've disliked the Warriors so much because they've been so dominant.
That's all
But
you've
like,
seen, right?
this feels just different. You can't not like them right now. Like Wiggins is playing great. Shout out to him, All-Star starter, which whether he deserved
Huge.
it or
First
not,
time
like
All-Star
he
starter.
deserved
That's
to
huge.
be an
Shout out
All-Star.
Andrew Wiggins, proud. That's great.
Yeah, and like I honestly I know people would say this just because like you're looking at the standings, but I think it's them and the Suns right now in the West. I do think the Grizzlies are very, 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 very good, but I think they're 1 or 2 years away from like legitimately contending for a title. Like they could make it to like the conference semis or something, but I just think they need that one more like year together to be like title contenders. And the Warriors have been there. Like I think they could honestly win it this year. They have the pieces. Like Draymond's playing just as good as he really ever has. Steph is being Steph. Clay's coming back into his own, and he can still like get better. Andrew Wiggins, like I just said, the starter. Like I really like their team right now, and like the Lakers, they were the like odd favorites in the West to come out of the West, and they're looking at the play-in right now. So I don't know. I really like the Warriors, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say. They'll finish top 3 in the West for sure, and I don't know. I think in the West, I think they have the best chance of winning it. To be honest, I'm looking at it right now.
Right. Let's look
I
at that
think
real
they
quick.
could
Let's
really
go
win it.
over there. Let's go to the Western Conference, right? Number 2. That's where we got them sitting. Number 2. What, 4 games? 4 games back? Yeah, 4.5 games
4.5,
behind.
yeah. I think the Suns will end up. I think the Suns will hold the first seed, but when you get to playoffs, everything
Right.
changes.
I'm
Like even
I'm
if they
interested
got
to see, right? So I'm like that you brought that up. I'm interested to see where that holds. Like, is that gonna hold 4.5 games behind? Oops. You know what I mean? Or
yeah,
are we going to see the Warriors or maybe even the Grizzlies? Are we going to see them slowly creep up and only become like maybe 1-2 games behind? Like, do you think
right.
the Suns are going to like burn off maybe some of this energy? Maybe this, that win streak 9-1 right now. I mean,
I
do you think we're going to see that change, or do you think they're going to keep riding this hot streak and just hold it?
I like their hot streak, but like as we've seen in the past 2 3 years, like even the Jazz will finish top of the league and then just burn out in the playoffs because the playoffs is just such different in basketball. Like it's so much more strategy.
Mm.
They're not just going out there every night and just playing like basketball because they have like a million games to play in the season. Like they go hard every night in the playoffs. So
That
I
is
don't know. I think the Suns will probably finish number 1. They might drop a little bit here and there, but I think at the end of the year, it'll probably be the Suns at number 1. I don't know if the Grizzlies can last at 3 the whole year. Like they're going crazy right now. I think they'll definitely be top 5, but I think the Suns will end at 1 seed. But I don't really think that matters for the Warriors. Like the Warriors in the playoffs when they're all healthy is just different. So I don't know. I don't know if that matters for the Warriors right now, but I think the Suns are a really good regular season team and obviously postseason team after last year too. But
right. Oh, so all right, going into the last take here, real quick before we end it. I want to talk about the Mavs real quick. Kristaps Porzingis. Right. So obviously everybody's thinking to themselves, why? Why trade Kristaps Porzingis? I get it. Has he been the healthiest player? No. Are you paying him a good chunk of change to basically sit on the bench? Yeah. But like, why were for Dinwiddie? Or like, obviously he hasn't been the greatest player for the Wizards. Like, I don't think he was the greatest pickup. I don't agree with the players that he picked up, or even just trading Kristaps Porzingis in general. I think you should have just kept him and just let that ride out. I mean, yeah, he's had his ups and downs, but every time he is healthy and on the court, I feel like he's producing a pretty good, substantial amount of numbers. But no, I want to get your take on that. What do you think? The trade of Porzingis. Do you think they got a good deal out of it? Do you think? I mean, obviously everybody's going to say the Wizards won the trade. You got Porzingis. So what do you think?
I texted you right when I saw it and I was like, what are the Mavs doing? Like the beginning of this year, Porzingis was actually playing some of the best basketball he's played in a while. And I don't know if that's just he wasn't injured or because he was like had confidence or I don't know what it was. But yes, he had a big contract. I just pulled up that. He was averaging a big thing when he was in New York was that he would get a rebound and he's 7 feet, I don't even know, 7'2", 7'3", and he was averaging like 4 or 5 rebounds or something like that in New York. So even 8 rebounds this year was like kind of a big step up for him on the Mavs, especially because he was running a little bit like a stretch 4 sometimes, not even really 5. And Dinwiddie, I know I really like Dinwiddie, but I don't think he fits well with the Mavs. Somebody that I really like is Jalen Brunson, who is their, I don't know, I guess point guard or point guard off the bench because I don't really know what to consider Luka, but like Jalen Brunson's a really, really reliable player who's actually coming into his own this year. So I don't know because if you want to start Brunson and obviously you start Doncic, it would go like Brunson, Dinwiddie, Doncic, and then it's just like weird on defense and just weird like coming off the ball. Like Dinwiddie's a good player, but I just don't like his fit with the Mavs. I do like Porzingis' fit with the Wizards though, but
I
I think
love
the
that.
Mavs are just dominating the trade.
Oh, speaking of his fit, did you see the? I don't know if you saw the video on Instagram. It was his first bucket.
Yeah,
The first bucket with the
Yeah.
Wizard. He drains it from the stands. I loved seeing that. I'm glad that
he's used to sitting over there though, because he's always injured. So
No, I'm glad to see him. I'm glad to see him enjoying himself, though. I'm glad, like a lot of trades, like from big stars and stuff like that, they usually kind of go a little bit negative. If you look at like DeMar DeRozan, for example, like he got traded and he didn't want to leave, but he got traded.
yeah,
Isaiah Thomas. You know, I mean, nobody wanted that to happen. He was goated when he was on the Celtics, but he got traded. It happens.
right.
And I'm excited that he took it, at least from what I can see, pretty well. He's he's back smiling. He's looking good. And you're right, when you pulled up Doncic, right? That's what I also don't understand about the Dinwiddie trade is if you're going to end up signing somebody like Doncic anyway, why? Or Dragic, I mean, sorry, not Doncic, Dragic. Signing somebody like him to then get Dinwiddie anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you should have picked one or the other. If you knew you were already going to trade to get Dinwiddie, you should have just not made that sign in the first place.
Right.
I don't know, but that's the whole point of the podcast, right? That's our takes on it. Let us know, guys. Winners of the trade: Nets, Sixers. Who won that trade? CJ McCollum versus the Blazers. Pelicans versus Blazers. CJ McCollum. Who won that trade? And Wizards versus the Mavericks. I want to know all of it. I want to know your guys' take on who won that. We are going to end up ending the podcast here today. It has been a blast. Caleb, I want to thank you so much, man. It has been great having you. Next time we do this, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll figure it out,
Thank you for having me, bro. That's actually really fun.
Of course, man. Of course. Go follow me on Instagram, guys. Hot Takes Podcast 33. I'm going to do all the polls that we just talked about. I want your guys' vote. I want to know who won everything, what you guys are talking about. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.
I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all wanna ring, yeah, we all wanna be free. So show me what you got, what you bring, how you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing. Do you got heart, are you mean? Got some scars, got some needs, are you willing to go bleed? I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm pissed off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve it now. It's only worth it if you